The world is in peril. It's chaos everywhere. We're not covering any of it because we're too stupid. You're black, right?
Right.
Allegedly.
Robert Paul Champagne.
All it takes for rappers to join pickleball is for Michael Jordan to make some Jordans for pickleball.
Merry Christmas, you guys.
You sound like every gay in Manhattan.
I feel gay.
Try it out.
Are washcloths for the pores?
How much is it gonna hurt again?
What's going on?
Ever heard of the Pulitzer Prize? We sure haven't. Go to ymhstudios.com to get your tickets right now. Guys, it is on. We have added a show at the MGM Grand Garden Arena on Friday, February 9th at 9 p.m. Bert Kreischer and I, we're tearing it up. We have a show Saturday. That show is rolling, so we added a Friday show.
We got so many texts from athletes and MMA fighters saying they couldn't make Saturday. We're like, you know what? Let's do another night. Pre-sale tickets are live today, 7 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Use the code BEARS.
And the on sale will begin December 15th at 10 a.m. Get your tickets right now.
You are not going to want to miss this. Tom and I never get to go out and perform together. We are both going to be going up, banging it out, and it's going to be a party.
BurtBurtBurt.com, TomSegura.com. Get your tickets right now.
Get the bear cave a little fatter again.
It's a little-
You've even abandoned us. You're a day walker right now. You're Blade.
100%.
Cheers.
We're back, and great news. Bert is getting a transplant and a transfusion. Both.
Really?
Yeah, blood and bone marrow. As they said, it helps he's got diabetes, he had renal
course.
failure.
Yes.
He's got some fluid in the brain, but all that stuff is going to be taken care of, hopefully.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester.
They flew him out there.
So they have the best. He's like, I want the best.
Yeah,
He's like, I
hell
tour
yeah.
on a high level. I want the best.
I love that.
Sitting in for him across the great Stavros, everybody. Sexy
Hello,
Stavros
how we
is here.
doing? Thank you, bro. Thanks for
Just-
having me.
Absolutely. Just so in case anybody doesn't know, your new special, Fat Rascal, is out right now.
Right now.
On Netflix.
On the big N.
The big N-word.
On the N-bomb.
I've never heard anybody call Netflix that.
I have to give credit to Mark Normand. He said it on my pod, and I loved it so much.
That's funny, man.
I've been running with it.
We just saw a clip of a guy, a weatherman, who's like, it's getting. He's like, he's with he's local news, and
Hell
he's like,
yes.
it's cold, and it's starting to feel like later October, or dare I say, the N-word. And they're like, you're like, oh, November? Nobody calls November the N-word.
On morning news is awesome.
And the anchor was black. The guy was
That's
like,
so sick.
What?
To hint at that, it's one look here. This is barely anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're filling time while people are picking up their kids. While they're
People are
raking
driving to
leaves.
work. Yeah.
But to be on local news where it's like wholesome and old people are watching, and to hint at a slur.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Respect to that guy.
Respect, and also to try to assign that to the month of November is insane.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you do that, you got to be positive about it.
Yeah.
You can't be like, ugh, I
Dare
fucking
I say
hate November.
the greatest month of all, the N-word.
yeah, you can't make it seem like, ugh, the N-words.
It's getting cold like the N-word.
It's the N-word of months. You got to say that with an upbeat tone.
There had to have been, like, nothing would have been better than that commercial break, where the producer's like, are you out of your fucking mind?
What are you doing, buddy?
What are you doing, bro?
We're live.
Yeah. When did you think this was a good idea?
Do you think they have local news managers? They're like, buddy, we need a viral clip.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need to hint at it.
Can you do something? I don't know, something racial?
Maybe slowly start doing more self-tanner until it starts being on the edge of blackface. You know what I mean? Because there's a way that you can walk it up so slow.
Yeah.
That like no one knows you're doing it.
You can't do it out of the gate.
You can't do it out of the gate.
No.
You got to start half shade up.
Yep.
Every 3 days.
I
Bump it
haven't
up.
done it yet. Bert's been doing it a lot, and he did that where he started subtle, and then he showed up once, and I was like, whew. whew.
What's going
He's
on
like,
here?
yeah, it went darker. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can see that. And then Christina tried it, and it was also very, very subtle.
Yes.
I think you really got to dip your toe. You can't just
Can't cannonball
do
into
you
that.
do you spray tan?
No, brother. This is Mediterranean skin right here.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Do you get nice and dark though?
Dude, I get awesome.
Yeah.
When I hit the first 3 days in Greece, it's like I'm a new man. Literally, my brother, when we used to come home from, because we would spend like 6 weeks in Greece, like the old immigrant, not a great vacation. I'm just living with my family.
Yeah.
Like they're in Athens, I was in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Essentially the same life. We're playing FIFA, we're playing pickup hoops. We go to the beach maybe 3 more times when we're in Greece, and we're eating my grandmother's shitty, macaroni. It's not even like, whatever. But my brother would come home and people would start talking to him in Southeast Baltimore. In the middle school he went to was mostly Hispanic people.
Yeah.
Start talking to him in Spanish because he's like,
Oh, right.
long hair. He would get dark as shit. My brother's got a little more Turkish blood in him, we think. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's something I noticed with I guess I had less exposure as a kid to,
course.
Greek people
Florida,
in high numbers.
We got a little. There's like everyone keeps telling me to go to Tarpon Springs or something.
There's a bunch there.
There's a bunch there, but Florida is not a.
But when I hear a Greek national speak English, my ear, a lot of times, I just hear Latin root. So I'll be like, oh, they speak Spanish.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
We have a little. Yeah, when I tried to pick up Spanish, I quit it, very easily.
Really?
I got it, but I didn't pick it up. But the pronunciation was not hard.
Not hard,
'cause
right.
You can kind of like.
So is your Greek pretty good?
Greek's good. Yeah, I'm fluent in Greek.
Oh, that's rad,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So that was at home all the time.
At home, my dad was one of those immigrants that like talks about how much he hated America.
That's
you know
cool.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
one of those guys that's like pissed off. He's like, I can't believe I'm fucking here. Like, hated it. He claims my mom trapped him. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
Your mom's American?
No, she's Greek too.
She's Greek too? Oh.
She just her family moved here in the 70s, and then my mom moved back to Greece because she was like, America's bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Greece,
Yeah.
And I mean, it's tough to go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and be like, I can't wait to. You're in Greece in the 70s, and you're like, wow, Hollywood, New York City, and then you're like, Baltimore, fresh off white flight, fresh off the city. Industry is abandoning it.
Yeah.
It's starting to turn to shit.
Yeah.
Before we're on the upswing now. Baltimore's going up, but and so she moved back, and then they came to America as like let's go visit my family for a year, see what's happening,
Yeah.
and then they just stayed.
They just stayed.
I went to preschool with an accent. I was
Oh,
like,
Greek accent,
hello, I am Stavros. A, B, C, D. Like literally, and half the kids in my class were like that. 'Cause
Really?
when I was growing up, it was like 60% Greek people in my neighborhood.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
you guys lived in a Greek neighborhood.
When my parents moved, I think that's kind of why they stayed, because this is like the 80s when they moved back. Dude, there was like Greek-speaking theater, like local theater. Like they would put on productions, and like enough people would come to see them and pay for tickets that was like a sustainable cultural event in the neighborhood. It was
Wow.
crazy. It was really I mean, it's unfortunately kind of like diffused now, but it was cool. Yeah.
I like that you have. I always feel like it's weird when somebody, not that you do this, but some people have like their identity is their ethnicity.
Sure.
And then you're like, oh wow, like so they're like, you're all about being
Right.
Italian. Like,
Right,
how's your
right.
Italian?
Oh.
Like, I don't speak Italian. Like, what the fuck, man?
That's brutal.
That's step one.
Yeah. And those are the worst ones.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. You don't even know what it's like to be Italian. And it's like, come on, man. You've watched the same movies I watched.
Yeah, and they're
it's
good
not
movies.
They're
I like
good
it.
movies,
Yeah.
but don't speak the language. And my favorite episode of Sopranos when they go over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Paulie is just so disrespected by all the actual Italians.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, these boorish Americans. They're like,
Totally.
this fucking guy wants tomato sauce. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they're making, he asks
yeah.
for gravy and they're all snickering at him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know how to take it. It's,
Yeah, you
I
ask
love
for Parmesan on your seafood, and they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
animal.
Get the fuck
yeah,
outta here.
get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's really because like, if you're American and you just watch those movies, your idea of what Italian is not what Italian is. Like,
Right.
That's a movie.
Yes.
That personality it's an American Italian.
Well, and especially The Godfather, apparently complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Like just not how the mafia worked at all.
Sure.
Like that's not what those people are like at all. But the later, Scorsese was real. I mean, he grew up there.
Yeah.
He was really about, reality, verisimilitude and all that kind of shit. But which is cool. And the same thing with The Sopranos, like they were really, but yeah, those people are fucking trash.
They're scumbags,
They're murdering.
dude. Yeah.
And look, I love Goodfellas. Probably my favorite movie. I'm the male version of a basic bitch.
Yeah.
That's male pumpkin spice is Goodfellas.
It's the
I don't give a
greatest.
fuck. It
Yeah.
fucking rules.
Yeah.
But those people are dog shit. Like you should never. And it's so funny to think about, like the guys who look up to them but are also cowards.
Yeah.
It's like aspiring murderers and like the guy who would rape if he had the courage. You know what I mean? Like that's what half of these fucking Italians are. I'm sorry to call you.
Yeah.
But there would be criminals, but they're just cowards.
Yeah,
and that's
cowards.
like,
I wish I could be a piece of shit like this guy.
One day I wish I could give my 19-year-old mistress brain damage when she disrespects my mother's linguine. Unfortunately, I just don't have the heart, and I let her get away with it.
Oh, fuck.
Dude.
I saw a thing with some mob guy, interview, older guy who was like, yeah, when The Godfather came out, we were like, oh, like this is what we should like dress like.
Right.
Like,
they changed it.
From that. And then the best are like, now there's like so many docs.
Podcasts are crazy. By the way, Mafia guys are now just podcasters.
All of them.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because they all ratted, by the way. You know, they're like, there's nothing worse than a rat. They're all rats. You fucking rat. They all fucking snitched.
Right. Everyone snitched.
That's why they're doing podcasts. The only one who didn't is Gotti. He died in prison. The rest of them just all were like, I don't want to go to prison.
Yeah.
Which, I understand.
I get it. I'd rat in a heartbeat.
But the best are like, there's the FBI guys that, were working these cases. They do all these like bio, docs about it.
Yeah. No, I love all of them. I've watched most of them. Yeah.
And there's one dude, God, I wish I knew this guy's name, but he's in a bunch of them. He's like, you don't understand how fucking stupid these guys are. He's like, these guys, he's like, you see them glorified in movies and all this shit.
Yeah.
He goes, listen to the tapes. They have the vocabulary of a fucking third grader. They don't know shit. They're dumb. They're just dumb fucking dogs.
Imagine being so stupid that a cop feels intellectually superior to you.
Yeah. A beat cop is like
read a fucking book every once in a while. I'm sorry, read the funny pages every once in a while.
But he's right. When you listen to the tapes of these guys like talking their business, it's like fucking middle schoolers.
No, I mean, at the heart of it was just pure violence. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's like, yes, some of them were like smart, just because the thing is, it's not like, you talk about organized crime, but the organized crime, it's really just like a multi-level marketing thing. It's like a pyramid that goes, that's the organization.
Yeah.
And yes, in theory, you're like protected if you're a made guy, but there wasn't like, okay, guys, welcome to being in the mob 102.
No.
Today we learn shaking people down. It was like, hey, you have to go make me $1,000 or I'll beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And there was like every guy just came up with their own
way to do that.
Crime. So it's like, and so some of them were like, I mean, the classics are bookmaking and beating the fuck out of people.
Yeah.
And when
prostitution, drugs. Yeah.
Drugs. I mean, that's the other thing. Later on, some of them got into that. I love the idea that there was honor. Some of them wouldn't do like prostitution.
Get that shit out of this house.
Yeah. But
Shake People Down. That's a good one.
Yeah, Shake People Down is classic. I mean, I forget the guy's name. Is it Francese? Michael Francese, who he came up with the gas scams.
Yes, that's right. He does a bunch of podcasts.
He's a huge podcaster, and he claims he only ratted. Yeah, Francese. He claims he only ratted because his dad okayed a hit on him, which. If you're gonna give anybody the okay to snitch, it's your own father's like, your father not being like, come on, guys, can we not kill it? Can we just fucking?
He's a dog.
Can we rip his tongue out? Maybe can we make him so he can't rat?
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Whether or not your family gives gifts during the holidays, you get to define the gift you give yourself, and the holidays are a great time to do that. So whether it's by starting therapy, just going easier on yourself during the tough moments, going easier on yourself around the dinner table, or treating yourself to a day of just complete rest. Remember, give yourself a little love this holiday season. I do that with personal time. For me, I've been in therapy for a very long time. I like to highlight certain things that I like to talk about in therapy, especially during this time of the year, because things get really complicated. Families in town, travel. I get out of control with my lifestyle a tad bit. And I talk about that in therapy, and it really helps me prepare for going into these moments. And if you're thinking about starting therapy, giving BetterHelp a try is a great idea. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. In this season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/bears today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bears.
What do you call a person who speaks 3 languages? Trilingual. Someone who speaks 2? Bilingual. Someone who speaks 1? American. Oof. Only 22% of Americans speak a language other than English at home. Start learning a new language this fall and be the exception, not the rule. Because with Babbel, you start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. This fall, you can start speaking a new language with Babbel. Babbel is designed by real people for real conversations. All of Babbel's tips and tools for learning a new language are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teaching. I have to say, this is something I have so embraced over the last year, which is there's such a thing where you just do endless scrolling and you look at nonsense, and this is a way to actually do something productive in your free time. I love it. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/bears. Get 55% off at babbel.com/bears, spelled BABBEL.com/bears. Rules and restrictions may apply.
But yeah, so some of them would do it, smart scams.
Yeah.
But most of them would just threaten people's lives, and if it got down to it, kill you. And that's it. Which is like, it's like not that's simple. It's just like you have to be so morally bankrupt that taking somebody's life doesn't matter to you at all.
It's really crazy how comfortable they got with murder and how they always saw it as like, but he's another mob guy.
Right.
So it's not really like, I don't feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a bad guy. I got rid of a bad guy for you.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, cool, man.
There's honor in this. Yeah, that's why I do think The Sopranos is the best representation. I mean, also, that's what I really loved about the last Scorsese, when they're all fucking old, The Irishman.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it just shows you where this ends up.
Yeah.
Even if you get out of this alive and you get out of jail and you end up free, it's like De Niro's character's in a fucking retirement home alone. His family doesn't talk to him.
Yeah.
He killed his own best friend, and it's like the last shot of the movie is him asking the lady to, crack the door open just a little bit the way Hoffa did when they shared sweets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like his only solace is remembering the times he had with the guy he killed in cold blood. Brutal stuff.
Yeah.
And that movie's interesting too, as like maybe it's like a metaphor for just mob movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's over.
Yeah.
We've done it all. We've said it all. We're all old. It's like, the genre is done. It's almost like Scorsese putting a little period on it.
I mean, it kind of like, what else are you going to make?
Totally.
I mean, here's the other thing is that watching these things now, like Netflix came out with that Gotti thing a while ago, highlighting his run.
Yeah.
And and then how that led to kind of the eradication of the mob in New York. And then part of you wants to go, man, it'd be cool if they came back, like, when are we going to get the mob back?
I will say there is something to, as everything I just said about these guys are pieces of shit and I don't want them back. Now it's like, now who runs gambling? Fucking, a company I advertise for, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's like there is something, you don't even feel it anymore. These people just ruin you. It's just like right to your bank account. And it's just like, there used to be some, mob guys had to at least keep some records.
Can somebody show up with a fucking crowbar or something?
Yeah, let's earn the money. Let's earn this guy ruining his family.
Let me really feel fear at these risks I'm
taking. You got to think, when a parlay hit, when a guy killing you was on the fucking table, nothing feels as good as that. No, you know what I mean? Like, yes, we've made it safer, but the guy who wins and saves his life temporarily.
Oh my God.
That weekend where he goes home and is able to put food on the table and not die, must have felt.
There's no rush like that.
Rush like that.
That's why you go back, dude.
Yes, these giant companies have robbed us of that. I mean, it is funny because, it's like the more cashless society gets and the more like everything is automatic, the less margins it's like where the Mafia existed was also where like fun existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, it was a little lawless, it was a little whatever, and it was like, those are the corners where it's like, yeah, you go do a little crime. You know what I mean? We all did a little petty crime, a little petty whatever, and it's just like, now everything is like, you know, direct deposit. There's no place for scams, but there's no place for like, you know, hiding $500 from your wife so you and the boys can do a little yak. You know what I mean? Like old times.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything. There is a... Here I am romanticizing the very thing I said was dog shit, but, you know, this isn't that much better. It's just, you know, our overlords now are like huge tech, banks.
Yeah, huge corporations.
Huge corporations that are much easier. One thing I will say, not to get tinfoil hat with it, it's much easier for like somebody to control everything now, whereas like back then, try getting a bunch of Italians to do your bidding. Impossible. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that though, how, you know, there's still neighborhoods and areas that are falling apart. Like, and it kind of makes you think, is that what will spawn something like a mob again? Because typically neighborhoods that are, you know, distressed, and feel fear of like, you know, then these guys come up and they go, nothing's going to happen to you.
Right.
But then there's just an exchange.
It'll cost you.
Yeah. And then that neighborhood actually becomes safe. Like, oh, great. There's no break-ins anymore. Nothing.
Yeah,
Only thing is, I just got to kind of break my back for this guy every week.
Yeah. Only thing is, there is no upward mobility for me.
Yeah.
Some fat dickhead in a tracksuit gets to buy diamonds for his wife. Like, because I'm working overtime at the grocery store.
Just to pay this asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, no disrespect to fat dickheads. I'm one of those.
Or tracksuits.
Or tracksuits. That's me. I will say I love the style of the Mafia. I have really incorporated a lot of that in my personal.
Sure.
That's my personal style.
Of a soldier in a fucking tracksuit. Yeah.
That's absolutely. I do dress like a guy about to die and has no idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a guy who's like, "Hey, boss, but me by myself? You want me to meet you there at midnight? I'll be there." It's like that is my fucking look. You know,
we had to get rid of Stavy.
Yeah. I had a big mouth.
He was slipping, talking a lot.
I would be bragging about being in the mob to get pussy for sure.
Yeah.
I would be just have my hand on that high beehive hairdo. Yeah. You know what I mean? In like Jersey in the 60s. I'd be that.
You're with a real soldier right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, I mean,
fuck.
Shout out to the fat. Look,
shout out,
and I'm
man.
happy to be here, by the way, to get the bear cave a little fatter again.
Yeah,
that's one thing I had. Look, as a fan of the show,
yes,
I've seen Stamos was on it.
Yeah,
Matt Rife. Well, let's get it fat back in here. No disrespect to those guys.
I know.
But
it's a little,
you've even abandoned us. You know,
I'm trying.
You're trying.
I'm trying.
Into the light. You know how like people try and look at people hot, like you know when you look at the mirror in yourself, you try and like make out the abs.
You try to do,
I'm the opposite with you, where I'm like I'm trying to make out a little titty. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to look at your least flattering angle to be like, nah, he's still fat. He's still a guy. He's still us. We still got him.
It's still there. I'm still on your team, dude.
It's getting dangerous though. Yeah. You're getting close. You're a day walker right now. You're Blade.
Well, don't forget, you still got Bert. He's definitely on the squad.
But he's doing a bizarre. You know what? He's actually the daywalker.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he fluctuates so hysterically wildly where it's like, he's here, he's with us. And then you see fucking pictures of him, and I'm like, what is this fucking guy doing?
He just did 83 days without booze.
Insane.
83. And he said he ate pretty clean.
Yeah, he looked good. The pictures.
And in those, I think, so 83 days is what? It's almost 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think he dropped like close to 40 pounds.
That's insane, dude.
But that just tells you what the booze for him normally is. When I was at my fattest, people would be like, man, just stop drinking. I'm like, I don't drink really.
Dude, I hate that.
Like,
dude, you know how many tips I get where it's like, no sodas, don't drink soda. Go for a walk. I walk every day. Yeah. I go for a walk. Everything people tell me.
They're like,
And they're like, stop. You got me. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, look, I think it's mostly midnight desserts for me.
Late night's the worst.
I'm a late night. I'm a little late night slut. And then, you know, anything bad happens, I got to eat. Anything good happens.
Yeah.
Got to have a little ice cream.
No, same, dude.
Know?
It's always like, and it is like, you can have great, like, morning, lunch, and it's like, all of a sudden, like, it's past 7 and you're like, you should be like, I'm just done eating for the day.
Yeah.
And that's when you can add thousands of calories.
Dude, last night, I'm in my hotel room alone, you know, and I'm like, I had a pretty good day. And in my head, I'm like, that was last night I didn't like go crazy. I didn't have like a big meal at the end, and it was like, and then I like woke up and I was like, oh, I ate an entire box of like hotel room cookies.
Yeah.
I ate, 2 protein bars. That's my favorite fat guy move. Is the protein bars that are like candy bars now, where I'm like, fuck it. I didn't work out that day, by the way. Didn't lift a single thing, but I'm like, I need my fucking protein.
I need my protein.
I need my s'mores flavored protein bar.
I know, they're candy. They're candy bars.
I know.
Peanut butter, dark chocolate.
Dude.
Yeah.
But just because I didn't have like fries, I was like, it's a victory for me. I had a very fat moment where I was in the airport. I flew here I was in Philly, and I'm getting, first of all, just what I ordered is a fat guy move, where it's like, I'm in Philly, there's right next to I was set up for failure. Across from my gate is a cheesesteak place operating at 9 a.m., right?
9 a.m.
9 a.m., the cheesesteaks are fucking rolling. I'm like, wow, I'm in Philadelphia.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Not eat this?
I'm sure they have a breakfast option. Literally tell the lady to crack an egg onto my cheesecake steak so that's breakfast now.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the ultimate fat guy, like the fat guy math is like, well, I would have gotten a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
And you could argue that this steak meat is healthier than bacon.
Sure, and it's a ton of protein too.
And it's high protein. Yeah. I have to go do 12 body weight squats later, so I need a lot of protein. And then I get my thing. And of course, I tear off a little bit of bread from each side because now I'm like, come on, that's low carb now, essentially.
Shedding the fucking
the thing. And then there was a woman eating across from me, hot girl by herself, full cheesesteak, fries. Clearly, she's not going to eat, she's not going to eat everything. She's just like a hot woman who's like, I've done all the math, right?
Yeah,
she's in Philly. She feels like she has to have a cheesesteak, but she's eaten 1/8 of the whole thing, and I can tell she's winding down. And in my head, I'm like, ask her for a fry.
Yeah.
I'm like the stranger. I'm like, go up to her, ask her for a couple fries.
Yeah.
What's the fucking big deal?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you want? I didn't order them, and I'm just doing this, and I'm like, and as I'm finishing my fucking like, my steak, the voice in my head is like, ask her for a fry. It's like, in a horror movie when the child is like revealed to be Satan slowly, and he's like, the closer you get to the cross, the more he's like, roar! At first like, mommy, it's me. What are you talking about? And he's like, it's me, mommy. Put the cross away. That's the voice in my head being like, ask the fucking woman for a fry. You're almost done the fucking sandwich. Get a fucking fry. And I'm like, I just have to eat it fast so that I don't, accost this. Could you imagine?
Dude.
Think about this woman. A fat guy who's been staring at her probably this whole time.
Doesn't know
me. I'm staring at you in a completely non-sexual way. I'm just like so focused. You know what I mean? She thinks I'm thinking about kidnapping her probably. Imagine if I and little does she know I'm just fat as shit. Imagine I walk up to her and I'm like, hello, miss. Hope you're having a good breakfast. I noticed you had a lot of fries left over. You think maybe I could get 4 or 5 just to have 2 nice bites with the rest of my cheesesteak?
We are supported by Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch is running their biggest deal ever for new customers. Buy 3, get 3 free. You can use the link below to take advantage of this amazing offer. You buy 3 soaps and get 3 soaps for free. It's $28 of total savings and just $4 per bar. You're basically getting 6 bars of soap for the price of 3. I got to tell you, they sent me some of these, and that wood barrel bourbon is incredible. I rub that thing everywhere, and sometimes I'll even use a washcloth. That's how deliciously good smelling that soap is. They were so good to us, they sent a box of soap for the entire staff to try, and everybody is raving about it. Once you try this soap, it's gonna be your favorite soap. New Dr. Squatch customers will receive 3 free soaps when you purchase the buy 3, get 3 bundle at drsquatch.com/2bears1cave. If you've ever wanted to try Dr. Squatch, now is the perfect time to try them out and support the show. Click the link below.
Like that's
I
insane.
thought you might even. It is insane, and it totally speaks to.
And I wanted if it was if there was no social mores, I would have done it 100%.
Yeah,
my heart
or just
wanted
like,
it.
hey, I'll throw that out. And she's like, what? You're like, just leave it when you're done. Just leave it.
Oh
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
I should. Yeah, I put on a polo like I work at the airport. I'm just like, ma'am. Now it's now there's bus boys at the at terminal fucking whatever. Yeah, dude. Just imagine. And if she had walked up to me and been like, "Would you like some of my fries?" It would have been the happiest moment of my fucking life.
Yeah.
But of course, who
No.
the fuck would do that? But
And so you had to let those fries go.
I had to let them go. But just the fact that it was that intense in my head, I was like,
I totally understand it.
I'm in trouble.
I've done all the fat guy math moves.
Yes.
And then the best one for me was like, it could be a 45-minute workout.
Yeah.
where you just got a good sweat in.
Yeah.
And I would be like, I am good for 8,000 calories today. Like I just killed it.
I know.
And anything that came in my direction after that, I was like, yeah, I busted my ass today.
Fucking deserve it.
Just fucking crazy
Ba, ba, ba.
amount. Yeah.
Yep.
Desserts, and I was like, yeah. And then I would think about, this is how crazy, I would think about like elite athletes that I've just seen in some promo or something eating. I'm like, yeah, he does it too. And it's like, I'm just like him.
Yeah, Michael
Like,
Phelps. Yeah, I pull up Michael Phelps' diet from when he won the most gold medals of any human being on Earth, and I'm like, I
he
should
was
aim.
eating 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah,
Look at this guy. Why can't I
should aim
like,
for that.
Like, yeah, we're doing the same thing.
It's pretty close.
Dude, I was on the elliptical forever. I
was on the
Like, that's
elliptical.
the same as swimming 15 miles.
I got on a row machine after an elderly woman and bumped it up 5 pounds and did less reps than her.
Dude,
I
you're
deserve
good.
this.
You
Yeah.
eat pizza. Here's the thing: the thing that for me at least in my system, if I'm eating pretty clean, when I throw a disruption in that, like yesterday, I was here, I was about to leave, and they had ordered a bunch of pizzas, and I was like, I'll have a slice.
Yes.
One slice of pizza. Just the fat content of like a greasy pizza, which is delicious.
Oh yeah.
Completely fucking wrecked me.
Yeah.
For like 8 hours.
Oh yeah.
For 8 hours, I was like, ugh. Like,
No, dude, I know.
It destroyed me just because I have gotten it. Like I used to be, oh, I'll eat this all the time. And yeah, I'll just live with diarrhea constantly.
Of course. No, believe me. I'm
But-
sluggish. I know I'm planning.
Fucked me up, man.
Yeah.
It fucked me up.
I know. I know exactly how that goes. Cause it's like your system switches over to like, it's like a car that has the ability to go from gas to diesel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like when you put the first switching over to either side, those first 3 days are brutal.
Are brutal,
The
yeah.
first day when I eat like a salad and my body's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And my stomach hurts. Like I literally ate broccoli. Like before I come here, I had broccoli. Just had it.
Yeah.
It was a dish. I had a steak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't, and it was just like broccoli. I basically made like, this is another fat guy hilarious move where I'm like, I wanted Chinese food, but I'm like, I'm going to make my own beef and broccoli, right? Because it's
yeah.
like probably marginally healthier
Than
the fucking
than
thing.
the
but,
one
like,
you pick
whatever.
up. Yeah.
I just have broccoli, dude, and my stomach is killing me from the broccoli.
Dude, Christina used to tell, she goes, you're the only person I know who salad gives them diarrhea. Like she goes, salad makes you sick. And I'm like, yeah. And then she goes, do you realize that everything does? She's like, if you eat too much sugar, you go, oh, that's too much sugar. I have to shit.
Yeah.
She goes, if you have too much fat, you're like, and then she goes, now if you have too many greens, you have
Yeah.
to shit. And I'm like, look, man, I have a sensitive system.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you.
I have gotten to the point where once I take a bite and I finish the last bite, I have to shit within 7 seconds.
Of
and there
anything?
is no way
Or of a specific food.
it just happens half the time.
Okay.
Where it's like, that is still in my throat and I have to shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how, and sometimes I see the food I ate and I'm like, how are we just shooting this thing through? What's going, am I not getting any fucking nutrients here? Is my body trying to survive? They're like, we can't absorb this shit.
No,
Let's
it's
just
too
get
much. Just get it out, dude.
Let's see the brioche bun. Like it's just floating there.
That's the craziest part is that the thing that disrupts me the least, like digestively, are breads and starchy things, which are, everyone's like, avoid that. And I'm like,
course.
yeah, that's the thing that feels the most.
nice.
Yeah, it just doesn't upset you
Comforting.
at all. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, not just like, I mean, literally, the stomach goes, oh yeah, a pound of bread,
Nice
fine.
hunk of bread.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah. Little rice. Nothing wrong with that.
Just the special, which is out, Fat
Yes,
Rascal.
Fat Rascal.
Where'd you shoot it?
I shot it here actually. I shot it in Austin.
Oh, that's right. I
remember I was here actually. I think I did YMH right before or right
And
after.
Didn't
I
you
shot
tape
it.
Did you tape a bunch? I forget. I mean,
I taped 4 shows.
yeah,
at
you
the-
taped
at the-
4
at the Paramount.
At the Paramount.
Yeah.
You said it went. I remember seeing you.
So
like,
I was so happy with it. Like, yeah.
Austin comes out for stand up. They love it.
It was great, man. It really was. And the Paramount is such a sick
great.
spot
Yeah.
where it's like it feels classic and old school, but it's like everyone's like right on top of you. It
Yeah.
really felt. It was kind of a gamble because I just hadn't played it before, but I was like, this timing wise, it made sense. And it was 4 shows, which at the time I was like worried to sell it out 4 times. Everything came together. Looks awesome. Shout out to Ben O'Brien, my director. Ben rocks. Did such an awesome job. And yeah.
Were
just been
you?
awesome.
I'm somebody who, whenever they are like, all right, here's a line cut. I'm like, great, I'll take a look at it, and then I just don't look, and then they're like, hey, will you look?
Dude.
And then they're like, hey, we're gonna have to move your air date if you don't look. And I'm like, all right,
dude, the edit.
It's horrible.
It's brutal because in my head I was like, well, I shot the special. It's now done.
You guys do it.
I've been working on it the whole time since. Where it's like I got my editor. And then even like the sound shit you don't think about. Where it's like with the way a special sounds can be really strange, and it's like it can really take you out of it if the laughter
the sound
feels
mixes.
fake.
Yeah.
And it was like we worked on that forever.
Every special that I've ever put out, I get people that go, "Why'd you put a laugh track in this,
dude?"
And I'm always like, bro, there's 3,000 people at the show.
Laughing. Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's a laugh track. I'm like, no. Like, there's mics in the room.
Yeah.
And there's thousands of people there.
Yeah.
That's the sound you're hearing.
I know. And I really wanted it. I didn't want it to sound like, because there's little shit you can do, just, and whatever. I learned for next time too about like ways I want to do it and all that kind of stuff.
You're always like building on it. Did you have a clearly best show that you're like, oh, this is the one to mostly use?
I think so. Yeah. We mostly used, I think, it was a Thursday. It was the first show on Friday, I think.
So the first of all?
No, the third show. It was the third show.
Third show. Okay,
we did
interesting.
2 shows. Third show. There were great moments in I kind of really liked doing 4 because it kind of takes all the pressure off. It
takes all the pressure
and
off.
it makes it feel real. That's how, at least at the time, that's how I was performing. Where it's like you go to a city, you do 4 fucking shows, you get into your rhythm. And I think for specials, it's different because now I've been doing a little bit of like the theater 1 show in each city thing, which is cool, and it's a different experience, but like nothing beats the just showing up, working it out. Each crowd is different. It's a little smaller, so you really get to connect with people. And so, I loved it. It was really great. And
that's awesome.
So I'm pumped for it, and I just wanted to kind of like do one thing, like do like a mainstream kind of thing, because it's like, the internet's, shout out to the internet. I owe my whole life to people finding podcasts, clips, everything from the internet. But I want just, some random motherfuckers to shit. You know what I mean?
That's the best part of it.
Some moms to see my shit.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Who's this fat rascal?
Exactly. Fat rascal. Come on.
It's a great name.
Thanks, dude.
How did you name it? Did it just
I wanted it to be Fat Little Slut. But Netflix was like, that is not going to work. They were just like, we cannot do that. And also like, imagine, check out my special. Just Google "fat little slut."
Yeah.
It was like instantly. Yeah. You couldn't. It would just be girls getting railed, chubby girls getting railed. So I wanted something that was kind of
just somebody abusing a girl. Fat slut. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It would be like sub-dom. It wouldn't even be like just a bubbly, cute little fat girl.
I tried to name mine the N-word, but they insisted on Sledgehammer. I was like, okay, whatever.
The big N.
The big N is here.
Yeah.
And also you blessed us and in our internets with your appearing in 69 Minutes, our special.
I can't wait.
That comes out December 15th.
That was super fun.
Thank you for doing that.
Of course, man.
So funny. And there's like I've been telling people we put this thing together. This was like this ambitious, just fun thing that everybody has been busting their ass on. But to have it be what we wanted it to be, people like you had to get involved. So we have you, Brian Simpson appears in it. Mateo Lane's in it.
Oh, Mateo's my guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Mateo, my old school. We've talked about it, my old school nudes partner.
Yeah, that's right. He mentioned that. Yeah,
we're bringing it back too. We've talked.
Oh, really?
We've been in talks.
You've been in talks,
to put our bare dicks in the same room sometime
that's awesome.
soon. Yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. It was super fun. I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, no, but for those that want to check it out, go to ymhstudios.com, and it airs on the 15th. So a lot of people worked hard on that. I was gonna say for Greek stuff, Giannis too, right? Like you guys.
It's one of the biggest sins that we haven't had him. Because I just record a bunch of my shit in batches, and it's never worked out. But I gotta get he's first on the list of getting Giannis.
He's so funny,
funny, and like it's interesting too because he's a different kind of Greek guy where it's like my family's just came in the 80s, right? Like my dad barely speaks English. He's been here 40 years.
Still?
Yeah, like he speaks. He can get it by, but it's like clearly not his first language at all. Not,
heavy accent.
Heavy accent. If you're talking about cabinets, he's got it down. You know what I mean? He's a master woodworker.
Okay.
But like feelings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, familial issues. Although I don't want to shit on my dad too much. We're working it out over here, but like my mom's kind of I mean, she's more assimilated, but she's still, she's definitely first generation. You know, she was born there. You know, and Giannis, I assumed, because he is so plugged into like Greek shit and he does get the culture so much that he was the same way. Everyone I had ever met was first generation because that was my whole, everyone I grew up with, their parents were all born in Greece.
Sure.
But his family like goes back pretty far to New York. I think at least 1 or 2 generations where I think he had like grandparents that were.
But his dad is from Greece.
His dad,
right?
I think so.
Yeah, he was from Greece.
His
for
dad
sure.
was okay because I met his cousin. His cousin was fresh off the boat. One time, and I was
Those are the
like, "Nah,
best,
this
dude.
is a fucking Greek guy.
Yeah,
this fucking guy rules."
I'm Tom Segura.
I'm Christina P.
I'm Rob Eiler.
I'm Jamie Lynn Sigler.
I'm Dr. Drew.
I'm Lauren Compton.
I'm not in the show. For real?
69 minutes. If you give us an hour, you'll miss 9 minutes of our program. It's so fun having foreign family.
It's awesome.
And when they come here and you're like, you stand. Don't worry, you stand out.
Yeah.
It starts with attire. You're like, the fuck is this, bro?
Yeah.
For me, growing up, because we used to always do. I would go for my summer.
Yep.
Because in my family, you know, they're in the southern hemisphere, right?
Yeah.
They're in Peru, so they'd come up for their summer. So we're in school, and I would always be like, bro, you can't wear jeans that tight, right?
We can see your unclipped hog.
Like, what? And I go, bro, no.
Yeah.
Because their whole thing was like, because this is the 90s. They're like,
course.
so baggy. I'm like, yeah, this is normal.
Yeah.
Like, you look
Yeah.
like you want people to kick your ass.
Of
And
course,
for this
dude.
era, and we're
100%.
15, like, forget it.
Oh
You
my
can't.
God. You can't do it.
No.
I remember we had family that came over from Greece, or actually he was a Greek guy who grew up with my dad. He moved to Austria, so he's double Europe.
Yeah.
Double European,
Yeah.
right? And him and his son, and we went to Delaware just on the beach. These guys have Speedos that are so tight. Everyone, and it was like a gay area, I guess.
Yeah.
So everyone thought, and he has like his son that looks identical to them, and it's like, is this a gay father and son? And a child? Is this child also gay? And everyone was just like, we got so many people were staring at us, and I was even like, what the fuck is going on around
dude.
here? They got the hogs out.
Yeah.
But how often would they would come up, and what was it like when you were down there?
You know, first of all, like fair skin, blue eyes,
The whole family?
You just stand. Well, no, I'm saying when I would go.
When you would go.
So my
Because your mom she could be.
she looks
whatever.
Latin,
Yeah,
but like and
she's
like,
you could convince me of a lot of things.
yeah,
with your
my
mom.
cousins. It's funny too because they're also fair skin.
Mm-hmm.
But you just look at them and you'll be like, oh, they're not American.
Yeah.
Like even like facial features
Sure,
and stuff,
sure,
you know.
sure.
So, but yeah, so right away that people would always do
and
a double take and be like, you're definitely not from here.
Of course.
Sometimes you could speak Spanish for a while, and if you're speaking really well, they would just be like, oh, what country are you from? Because they would assume that I was Latin from another country.
Right.
Then I would tell them I'm half, and they were like, what?
Yeah.
But your gear too, there also would be like,
Of course.
some wild clothes you got on.
Of course.
Because our what we wear just like it really makes
Totally.
it's like an announcement, you know. I also remember when I studied abroad when I was in Spain. I had housed by this older lady. She was in her 70s, and she had a couple of us American boys there.
That was like her little side business. Was like
Yeah, exactly. It was her
awesome.
hustle. Her son, so I was 20, her son was 40, and he would come over on weekends with his son and we would have lunch together. And I remember one time he was like, "Do you know how I can tell when someone is American?" And we're like, "How?" He's like, "Because you guys dress like shit. So if I see somebody in pajamas, I go, there's an American."
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like the unofficial attire of like a guy in Madrid if he's Spanish was always a collared white shirt, like a navy sweater and like dress slacks. Like everybody dressed
slacks.
Yeah, everyone dressed like that for everything.
No jinkos.
Yeah, no, and every woman had like the wraparound scarf.
Interesting.
It was just like that was the attire of the time.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
wonder if my family is just trash in Greece because everything was just kind of shittier versions of our clothes. Like they begged us for like my uncle would
guess,
dude,
jeans, guess shirts.
My uncle was really into Gaunt, which is I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Gaunt?
Yeah, Gaunt. It's just a
brand?
It's a brand.
That's
and
hilarious.
They would want like you know, Polo, Tommy Hilfiger. So I think my family was just, you know, just broke.
Yeah.
Because like I had that experience. I never had that experience of them looking better. Everyone was just slightly gayer.
Yeah.
That's the only really thing. Like tighter. You know what I mean?
Tight was
Like,
the thing, dude.
Tight was it, and like touchy feely.
Tight, ironically, became in fashion
Back in.
many years later. But yeah,
skinny jeans and shit like that.
now when you see super baggy stuff from the, you're like, that looks goofy. Like to now it
it's coming back.
It is.
Gay guys have big pants.
They have big pants
And
now?
with what gay guys are doing, we'll be doing in 9 months, brother. I'm
That's
telling you,
right.
that's how it works.
They take the lead for sure.
I'm in New York too, so it's like we're kind of like the gaze of straight people. Is straight people in New York, or like other. It kind of filters into gay people. To gay New Yorkers. To straight New Yorkers, to gay people in Ohio.
Yeah,
you
right.
know what I mean?
And
like
then the straight people after that.
And then finally,
That's
and
so
then,
true.
You know, in like
you're
30
ahead
years,
of the other gays.
Of course, yeah. We're some,
if you're straight in New York,
not me. I'm kind of a classic, like I said, fat guy look. Hawaiians and when it's hot, tracksuits when it's cold.
Sure.
I'm a simple man. I just nail it.
It is kind of the best simplicity
Easy, bro.
and comfort. Comfort first.
100%. I can't. Yeah, this is it for the rest of my life.
By the way, I did Athens on my tour.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
And before I went, everybody was like, "You're gonna want to get out of there. Like it's not.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shithole." And I was like, "Really?" 'Cause I didn't have any reference.
Yeah.
So we land, and we're driving through Athens, and like highways all spray painted, and we're like, "Oh, it's kind of rough." Dude, they take us to the south end of Athens, on the water. And a resort there.
I mean, that's out of control.
And we tried to change our flights to stay longer.
Totally.
Like, this is the fucking best place I've ever stayed.
Yeah, I mean that part of Athens is so like again, I didn't even know that again, to show you how like poor my family was.
Yeah.
I had no idea that existed.
That's even there. Yeah.
No, like we would drive 90 minutes to go to the beach because it's like to go there is almost like you feel like you're not allowed.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
They're like, don't go there.
And even then, now it's like I went this summer, and my best friend from college, his family's Greek too, and his family's like they're rich. And when I visited them, I was like, oh, I see what's going on.
This is
here.
over. Oh,
there are two different Athens. You know what I mean? And it's like that shit it's incredible. And by the way, even the fucking grimy shit, I love that. Athens, begrudgingly, I used to say it reminded me of Baltimore. Even though I'm a East Coast guy, begrudgingly, I have to say it's actually a little LA-like, where it's like everything's spread out. It's like there's a lot in Athens, everything's spread out, and the mountains are crazy. And the climate is very similar to LA, actually.
It was absolutely stunning. And then from our hotel, we could see the homes that are on the water, and we were like, this is paradise. Like,
dude, it's incredible.
Because everyone always talks about the Greek islands, but from where we're standing, we're like, why would you leave here?
Dude, and if you could go to any island, pick any island, and it's better than the best resort in America.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. It's like I took my family, or my friends were visiting with me, and we just were on a road trip, and we just stopped on the side of the road in mainland Greece, and I was like, this beach kind of looks like shit. Like, if we want to take a dip, we might as well. It was like, it doesn't have sand, it has rocks. And they were like, this is one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever been to. And it's just like a roadside, like roadside beaches in like like no one would ever consider that a vacation in Greece. It's a culture that's spoiled for vacation. We crush hanging out.
What about
we crush having a good time?
For sure you do.
Grilling,
the food,
hanging
is
out,
insane.
having coffee for 8 hours.
What's your favorite Greek dish?
I'm a traditionalist where I just like, give me some fresh shit grilled.
Yeah.
Like anything you want. And what's great about Greece, like you go to any beach, there is a restaurant on the side of the beach, and they all have the exact same menu.
And they all
you
have
don't even
the
have to
lamb
look at the menu.
and the cucumbers.
Lamb, Greek salad.
Yeah.
Like here's my go-to spread. Tzatziki, of course, the the yogurt dish. A Greek salad. You get fried calamari. I like it fried. What can I say? But grilled is nice too. You get lamb chops or something called kodosouvli, which is like a slow roasted pork spit.
Oh, dude, you're making me salivate.
Yeah,
here.
dude, it's incredible. You have to. You also what I really like is there's places where you just show up and an old woman comes out of the kitchen and she verbally tells you what she has today.
This is it.
And that there's nothing better. She's
I agree.
Like, what do you want? Like I went there with friends and they were like, "Where's the menu?" And she just comes out and can't speak English.
Yeah.
country built on tourism. This woman never bothered to pick up yes or no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, just I order. We've had some of the best fucking meals.
When we were in Athens, it was one of the first times where, you know, that it was so demanding with all the movement that a lot of times we would be in cities and we were like, well, let's find like an awesome restaurant to eat at, right? And we had done that at that point in a ton of cities. Like we started in Budapest and we did it there, and we did it in Berlin, and we did it in Paris and Norway, and on and on and on. So, you know, this is stop, like, let's say 15.
Sure.
And it's like, we're at the venue in Athens, and it's like, what do you want to do for dinner? I go, you know, why don't we just have just something, let's go simple. Instead of going out, let's just have food brought here. And he's like, what kind of food? I go, I don't know, Greek food?
Right.
Like,
I'm in fucking
I
Greece.
go, I've had some Greek food in my life. I'd like to try it in Greece.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, like just simple. I was like, let's just ask them where they would get, you know, the venue people. Dude, they just brought the gyros.
Oh, dude.
And the Greek salad. By the way, the Greek salad had on top of the Greek salad just
a block of feta.
Of feta.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And
Drizzled
one of
in
the guys who was like, my stomach's bothering me, he just ate the block of feta. He's like, man, my stomach's still bothering me. I'm like, you just ate a block of cheese, you psycho.
Yeah, dude.
But it was up to that point, we had been at Michelin star restaurants and everything. I was like, man,
it'll hit the spot in a way.
Baklava they were this size, not this shit.
No,
this size.
No. And then you didn't even go to like the bakery in the morning where it's like, you got to do that next time you're there, where it's like, and that's what I think is the best about Greece is like, I'm sure there's fine dining, right? I've literally never done it anytime, there's no reason to. What is great about Greece is the consistency across the fucking country.
Yeah.
And it's also, when I traveled around Europe when I was broke as fuck and I was like 20, if you're broke or if you're rich, you will have the best time in Greece.
Yeah.
Whereas that can't be said of other cities.
No.
Like, if you don't have money in certain cities, the food is fucking dog shit.
London? Yeah,
London, forget about it. Yeah, you're fucking having chips and peas and shit like that. Fucking, you go to Norway, you're eating fucking elk. You're eating fucking whale blubber and elk. Unless you have $1,000 to spend on a meal.
Yeah.
It fucking rules, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. It makes me want to go back, dude.
You got to go back. You got to go back. Yeah, I want to go to this. I've never been to South America. I really want to fucking go. I might go do a little fucking warm after this tour's done. Now that the special's done, all that stuff. Hit a little.
Go to the beach, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you go down to like Rio.
Yeah.
Check out.
I don't think I can do that.
No.
It's a little too much access to some of my vices, Thomas. I don't know that I can be left alone celebrating in Brazil with a nice hunk of like tour money in my bank account.
I think it's exactly what you need to do. And then once it gets a little out of hand,
I can't do it.
You go down Punta del Este, Uruguay.
I can't do it.
Do a little loop-de-loop.
Where you're from, is it beachy or what? I don't know what the city,
like Lima. Lima is a Pacific town. It's like, the same kind of climate that LA would be.
Yeah.
So like they're like, it's freezing. It's 50 outside,
Gotcha.
Summers everyone's at the beach.
Now, how much genocide do you think your family did to maintain fair skin up until now? Because that's something I've always, when I see your mom talk, I'm like, that is conquistador blood.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny, dude. We in 2000, before 23andMe or any of these things, this is the other side. This is my dad's side. So my dad's side is obviously Segura.
Yes.
And so my mom's side, her last name is Lasarte, and her other last name Ugarteje. So that's they both go
Slayer of Indigenous.
Yeah, they both go back to Spain.
Yeah.
Right. So on her side, her father's family comes from central Spain. Her mother's family comes from northern Spain.
Holy fuck, she can trace it all the way back there.
All the way back there. My dad, so this is like my dad's family reunion with his brothers and sisters and all the cousins. And there's like a bunch of us.
Yeah.
And it's for New Year's 2000. And they go, oh, we hired. So the dads out of pocket hired.
On the Segura side?
On the Segura side, a genealogist.
Oh, wow. Before 23andMe.
Before all that stuff.
They're spitting in some guy's hand,
this
not
is
a vial.
Exactly. And this guy did it, but like the old fashioned way, where he was like hiring a private detective, private investigator.
He's going through he had public records and shit like that.
Yeah, and he had charts, and he was like doing a presentation. And we're all sitting there in this thing, and he finds the first Segura from our bloodline that came over, and he came over from Andalusia in the south, and he came to Louisiana, right? And there's a bunch of seguras in Louisiana. And then we're like, oh wow. He's like, and we think, well, that's the end of the story. And he's like, this guy died a millionaire.
What the
in
fuck?
the 1700s,
what
right?
What the fuck?
And we're like, oh wow. And then you're kind of like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
I don't know if there's any chill way to make $1 million in the 1700s.
In the 1700s. And then he's just like, yeah, he was a really bad guy. Right? We're like, what? And
the seed from which you all sprang.
Yeah, they're like, he was not a nice man. And then you think that you're like, how's this going to end?
Yeah.
Then he puts up a photograph
Oh my
of
God.
just a tree. And he's like,
no.
this is where he killed a guy on this tree. And we're like, oh, Jesus. And then it's just
one
like,
guy, that's fine.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, this is the Segura hanging tree.
Yeah.
Anytime one of them got out of line.
It's just like, he just keeps telling worse
He's the
and worse
first guy that
stories.
invented lynching.
Yeah, like that's you guys. That's who your family is. And we're like, this is cool. At one point, he produces 30 pages.
Oh my God.
From the guy's will of slaves. He's like, just like pages, and we're like, yeah, everyone's just like, this is a cool event.
Wow.
This is
Can't
fun.
wait to do the electric slide now. Can't wait to grill up some burgers.
Turn the music on.
I think I'm going to sit in quiet contemplation
Yeah, we're like, oh.
of the sins in my blood.
In my blood. Yeah. It just went, it got
That
worse
is
from there. Like,
crazy.
he had this business and he was ruthless.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool.
Even
cool.
his side projects were
Yeah.
like fucked up.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, he did slavery, but he also, he also entrapped some artists. He was, you know what they did in Motown? He was kind of above that.
He
Where
also killed prostitutes a lot of them actually.
Yeah. They couldn't prove it because there was no DNA back
Yeah,
then, but he's highly suspected to be the Louisiana prostitute slayer. Segura the prostitute slayer.
Yeah.
Segura is a great name to say Creole too.
Yeah, it is.
Segura.
It was
Don't
one
you
of
go
those,
over there to Segura land, boy. you know what it does to
you
little
get
boys.
strung up.
Strung up,
Yeah.
fucks them, cuts the nuts off, makes a necklace.
That's my grandpappy. Yeah, pretty cool.
He was like the boogeyman in that town. Don't
yeah.
go to the Segura estate.
He painted a picture for a half an hour of this guy being a savage. Yeah.
Just a small time
Yeah.
fucking warlord.
And then it was like, enjoy your family reunion. It
Dude,
was
you
just
got to
fun.
run that by the principals before you give the whole family.
I
You got to
would
let the
think so.
dads do it.
Yeah, like, and have them be like, there's kids here, man.
Hey, can you just pretend you
Can
didn't
you
know?
cut the slave stuff
Yeah.
out of the presentation?
Just say he went to Ellis Island, started a fruit stand. Give us something.
Good guy. Give us,
They should have like standard American stories.
Yeah.
That like if your father or your whatever, your great whatever is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You should be able to like, yep, he actually fought for the Union and died. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was Abraham Lincoln's best friend.
He was a patriot, and that's all we know. Unfortunately, the records aren't kept very well from that era.
Yeah, they should just give you the town he came from.
Just man with honor.
The
And
American dude, I wonder what he was up to before.
I can't imagine.
It's so fucked up to be
Also,
like.
think about the type of guy in that era who's like, just get on a ship across the world.
Yeah.
Like the shittiest transport. People are dying next to you. You're like,
Yeah.
that's how much I want to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm like,
and then you just arrive on new land. Like, I'm going to fuck shit up
time
here.
to kill
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Back to the mafia thing. He had a little bit of that in him.
They said that, I just saw I don't know if it was like a bio thing about the Columbus expedition, how the guy, he had it was just like 80 guys on one of these, these ships. And they were saying that like when they landed, I forget in which, if they were in Cuba or something, that they would just maim people for sport. Like just cut hands off for sport.
Just to warm up.
Just like, this is,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. Like just
Insane.
Just cut their
Sociopaths.
hands.
You're right. These are the guys that are just like, I'm gonna just get on a ship. I'm gonna get dysentery. I'm gonna get fucking scurvy. And I'm just, who knows what they were fleeing to.
Right.
Those are guys, the guys that get on those ships do not have a good life in that fucking country.
There's no way you're like, home is awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I have a great wife. I
Right.
have great kids. My
Right.
job is killer. Like,
yeah.
they're not thinking like
No,
that
no,
at all.
no.
It's they're
And
escaping.
They're escape. It's like it's like join the army or get executed, or like get on this
Yeah.
boat or get executed for your many crimes.
Sure.
Which I think is probably what happened a lot of the time.
And it's like you've been on that ship, by the way, for months.
Yeah.
And then there's like a type of person you've never seen, and they're like, if you want to go and fuck them up,
That's your first instinct.
it's,
Is like,
it's a good time to do it. I know you're pent up, man.
Pent up. I mean,
on this ship.
think about the like, yeah, dude. These guys have been pent up, just bros, the whole time.
The whole time.
You're tired of raping the guy with the bum ankle.
Yeah.
that can't defend
That guy.
himself.
Charlie.
You're tired of fucking the guy with the little hand who's on the
Yeah,
expedition.
Charlie Hops over there. Yeah.
And Matt, I mean, the what they were up to. It's these are criminals. This is the 1700s. It's really like everything Columbus did makes sense. Wasn't good.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but
Also, I always think about like when something like horrific happened like that, and in our world, in our mind today, if somebody does something terrible, they would tell somebody, and then you have this reaction of like, what did you do? But I imagine that like when those guys, when they were like, somebody was like, he just raped these people and cut their hands off, that Columbus would be like,
he'd be like, that's what you get for tattling.
Yeah.
Like, don't you, yeah.
What do you think we're doing here?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm here for spices and pussy.
I want these guys to have some fun.
Yeah.
They've been on a ship for 7 months.
He saw himself as a cool boss.
Yeah.
He was like,
You gotta keep morale up.
You gotta keep morale up.
Not gonna be
Come
a
on,
dick.
have you seen Gimp Charlie's hole? We've used it up.
He's bleeding all over the place.
These guys gotta have a good time.
Yeah, let these guys fucking let loose, man.
Yeah, dude. Fucking brutal stuff.
Got a bunch of knuckleheads on this ship.
I know. Yeah. Just
You guys
we got
have
a couple kooky characters in here.
chopping hands off again.
Fucked up, dude.
Fucked up, man.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of like genealogy of my family, but apparently Halkias, it's a name from an island. So my grandfather grew up in mainland Greece, but his grandfather was from this island called Karpatho, and apparently, and we can't find his side of the family because that was like the most common name on that island. It was like Johnson or Smith or whatever. And we met some random cousin, a guy I don't know at all, just Facebook messaged my brother years ago with all this like rumor about that side of the family. And the rumor is that apparently we don't know our actual name from that side of the family, but apparently that guy fucked some guy's wife. The guy was going to kill him, and he just left the island and changed his name to the most common name from that island, so no one could trace him.
That's
so
hilarious.
It's just
I'm
like,
out. Yeah.
So it's like a guy who like fucks a guy's wife and won't defend himself is a coward.
Yeah.
Like that's who I'm descended from. It's like a horny coward.
Yeah,
which,
I'll change my name.
Yeah, change my name. I don't need to everything I know. This is the 1800s.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go fucking roll the dice, starting new life.
I think I have a bunch of assholes on both sides.
Yeah.
My grandfather, who I never met on my mom's side, everybody was like, this guy was, he was a serious man, is what they say.
Yeah, that's
And-
brutal.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, like he was a doctor. This is like a long time ago. It's like in South America.
Oh man.
And then he became mayor.
Dude,
of the
doctors
town.
now.
Yeah,
what do you
he's
think they
just-
were doing then?
I mean, here's the thing. There's no such thing as in that era too of like the idea that you would question this man.
Right. He
You
knows
know?
how to read. So he's
Right.
he's the guy.
Like he just tells you, and then you just go like,
yeah.
thank you. And I think he was pretty big ego,
Little
and-
warlords basically.
Yeah, he was like it's like a warlord.
Doctor to mayor back then is you're not fucking with that guy.
No way, man. No
Yeah.
way. And they were like, he was like not. I don't think he was a sweetheart of a dad.
Right. Yeah.
All the stories are just like they're like he would come home, and like my mom or whatever had to take his shoes off, give him a glass of
Jesus
scotch,
Christ.
and put on classical music, and then that was how he would unwind.
Wow.
And, I mean, it is kind of like a warlord is
Totally.
returned.
Totally.
And you're like,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yeah, if you don't do it fast enough, he just kicks his own child.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, pop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Next one up. Who gets to put my slippers on now?
Yeah, that's a backhand era too,
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
not.
just-
They don't even count that as hitting your
That's
kid.
no.
That's maintenance.
Yeah, and that's not for like saying some shit. That's just because he felt like it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, little Columbus vibe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like, yeah.
Why are you looking? I feel your presence.
Do not look like that at me.
Yeah.
Do not look at me with love and respect.
And adore me always.
Adore me or nothing.
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't seem to like. I feel like that era of dude is not passable now. I don't feel like. I mean, I'm sure like there's people listening who are like, "Oh, you haven't met my dad."
Yeah.
But I feel like it's less frequent.
Well, it's kind of like dogs, where it's like, yeah, they were wolves,
Yeah.
and then like slowly, not every man is a Pomeranian,
Right.
but like even a bulldog now, or even a pit bull now, is like not what it used to be. You know what I mean? It's like that's kind of how I see it, because it's like every foreign dad what you're describing is just a very turned up version of most foreign dads that I know. Yeah. You know, where it's like, it's just slowly we're putting some humanity into these people, because all those people were even if they weren't sociopaths, they probably had. Think about how atrocious their fucking lives were.
That's what I always think about. We talk like when Christina talks about her parents and grandparents and like, you know, all their shortcomings and what was normal to them. I'm like, yeah, but what was his fucking childhood like?
I know.
That must have been fucking horrific. I mean, their dad was like, we, find dead soldiers and just play with their bullets that were falling. You're like, that's what he did when you went to the fucking mall.
Yeah, right. Like, that was his mall. Yeah. Was like the mass grave. You would pick through the mass grave to find cool shit.
He didn't understand. She told me this, that people have their dogs indoors here.
Yeah, that was a big one. That's a big
but they had
thing.
A Maltese. Like that's a fucking that's a cute little lap dog.
And they just put it outside.
And like it was like his second wife that was like, let's bring it. He's like, the dog?
Yeah.
The dog stays outside.
I got a little villager brain in that sense too, where I'm like, I like dogs.
Yeah.
I've never had one because I'm always traveling, and I do want one at some point, but the idea that a dog would be in my bed actually fucks me up.
Really?
I really think like...
I think that's...
The couch is one thing. The bed.
I think that, it's what you're like... To me, it's normal because
of course.
I grew up with it.
Most
right?
people, most of my friends who have dogs,
I get it.
It's not even... they would hear me say that and be like, "You're a monster."
Yeah,
but it's like it's a fucking animal.
That's exactly that's villager thoughts.
I know, it is.
Yeah.
Like my mom, it's so funny. My parents found this adorable little dog, right?
Yeah, just
found it just strolling the streets of Baltimore, a little Shih Tzu. We thought it was a baby. They took it to the vet finally, and like to check if it had a chip. No owner, no nothing. Apparently, it was just like a fucking turned out. Like street whore, like our little cute. We thought it was this little baby. The vet's like, take a look at her nipples. They're just like dangling. Like this thing was like, it's already like 10 years old, right? But she's so cute and little. And they took her to the vet, and they were like, hey, we noticed something with her heart. Like her heart has a problem, and they were like, we could do this test. Test will be $200, but if it comes back. Negative, she's good. If it comes back positive, she's going to need a $3,000 operation. And my mom was like, don't do the test. My mom was like, either she's got it or she don't.
Yeah.
She ain't getting a fucking operation.
Sure.
It's like, I'm not, my mom loves this dog.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They still have it?
Still have it. She's still going good. She's fine. But it's like, it's not like the dog doesn't matter to her. It's just like, well, if my car needed $50,000 in repairs and it cost $20,000, why would I do that? It's just like a dog is not worth thousands of dollars.
That's also...
It doesn't even compute.
That's also very foreign parent, right?
Yes,
because like
totally.
Americans will be like, I'm just doing this knee replacement on my dog. It's 15 grand. Like, I got,
Even I am like, come on, it's a fucking dog. It's a fucking, give it some fucking extra food. Let it get fat and like, whatever, hang out. Yeah. Feed it whatever the fuck it wants. Let it go out easy, but fucking knee replacement. I can't do that. Like when people cook food for their dogs, I'm like,
oh yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
We picked up a dog one time, like where we got it from this breeder. We also had a rescue.
Yeah.
We got one from a breeder.
It evens out.
And when we picked it up, they gave us a laminated thing, and I was like, "What is this?"
Dude?
And they were like, "This is like what she eats." And I'm reading. I was thinking like I grew up with like, here's dog food.
Yeah.
And so she was like, in the mornings, I'd scramble some eggs, I'd dice up this stuff. And I was like,
scramble eggs.
And then she was like, and then in the evening or for that other meal, I mince chicken.
Insanity.
And I throw in, and I was like, I'm glad you. Thank you for printing this out for me.
Yeah.
I will follow this to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was crazy.
That's
I didn't.
insane.
But there's a lot of people that they're like, yeah, of course you do that.
That's crazy to me. I mean, my brother, they just got an awesome dog, but he's actually what he's doing. I respect even more because he won't feed it dog. It's going back to its roots where he just throws it fucking chicken feet.
Oh yeah,
and he just throws it meat. It's like it's a fucking dog.
Bones. Yeah.
And she's like, she likes that, and that is actually probably healthier for a dog.
Probably.
You know what I mean? And she's cool. I mean, she doesn't go outside, but
the best feeling in the world though is when you have a dog and you have like a bone from a T-bone, and there's a lot of fat on it, and there's still some meat chunks, and you just see the dog's like a crackhead. It's like starting to shake. It's like, and then you go, here you go, and they're like, and they just lose their minds.
Yeah,
and they end up just licking the bone.
Dude, if you send me that bone, I'd lose my mind. I'm sucking off a bone.
Oh yeah, I've done it in restaurants too.
Me
you know,
too.
because they're like, it's not proper. I'm like, this bone is getting picked up.
This fucking steak was $100. You don't think I'm sucking off every fucking piece of it?
Absolutely.
It's like, I have money now. It's been a year.
Yeah.
that I've had any money, so I'm sucking off the steak.
100%.
It's not even close.
I do not
That's
respect.
the best part.
The best part is the bone.
The best part. It's a fucking steak.
And it's all like,
let's eat it with our hands.
like kind of grilled crisp, you know, like
the crispiness.
And you,
dude, I've fucking cracked the bone and been like, inside,
the fat coming out of it.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, we can go to get a steak right now.
My dick's getting hard.
I know,
just talking
dude.
about this.
I'm down. I'm down for a fucking ribeye right now.
Oh, dude, I'm a ribeye boy, no question about it. I need my shit fatty as fuck.
Yeah.
Don't give me a fillet. I'll spit in your eye if you serve me a fillet. I need that shit marbled.
It's got to have. I mean, at least get me a New York strip.
Minimum. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. You give me New York strip, I'm like, fine, all right.
But a bone-in ribeye? Dude, come on, man.
I need it fatty. And by the way, it wrecks my body.
Yeah.
I can't even, you're not supposed to eat that much. I know. I wake up, I go to bed after a big steak dinner, and I'm like, I will be up at 3 a.m. taking the worst shit of my life. I will be scared. I will be like, is this it? I will be hot as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I will be like, did somebody poison me? Like the last 3 ribeyes
consistently,
I've had.
Yeah.
No, it's, at first I was like, wow, that restaurant, I went to a fancy restaurant. It poisoned me. That's what I thought. Yeah. And then I was like, maybe it was the 60 ounces of meat plus appetizers.
It's
plus,
so much
like,
food.
dude, yeah.
It's so
like,
much food, dude.
It's crazy. It's fucked up.
When I have a fatty steak, within 3 hours, I start farting.
Oh, yeah.
But a type of fart that it does smell like someone is gonna be hospitalized soon. Like it's not.
Yes.
It's a rotten specific.
Your insides are starting to rot,
and I'm like, oh, that's what beef does to me.
It's fucked up.
It literally smells like a mixture of like chemical.
Yep.
And it smells rotten.
Yeah, when you take a shit and it's green and you're like, I haven't had a vegetable in 2 weeks. How did this happen? Yeah. And it's like just fucking. It looks like those shits babies take.
Yeah.
Where it's just green goo.
By the way, when you eat, you know, I've been like for years, steakhouse. It's just like, well, what's the biggest fattiest thing on the menu? Always.
Yep.
And you find out that like you're supposed to have like 6 ounces of beef.
Oh, dude, I know.
And you're like, oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you been having? I'm like, I don't know, 22 ounces.
Whatever they whatever the most fucked up thing is.
And they have like those steakhouses, they're like, this is for 2. This is a 64. And you're like, oh,
we'll see about that. Yeah, it's for 2. It's for me and a woman. Yeah, what do you think the ratio is on that? I'm like, hey, babe, want to split this? And it's like, you know.
This place, by the way, I know because you live in New York.
Yeah.
You have great, but like this town has great steakhouses.
I know. Every time I come, I try and have one steak.
Yeah, you should try because there's so many good spots here.
Yeah. I really should. The last time, I think I came here when there was some kind of fucking dickhead like tech conference, and so it was like all the good ones were like taken up by guys who probably were gonna just eat fucking greens anyway. Yeah, that's the thing that pissed me off. It's like a bunch of guys from San Francisco took all the fucking steak houses. Like, let me get in there. They're not gonna enjoy this. And I went to, but I still had a great meal. I was like, what's available? And then I saw Vince Young's Steakhouse. I was like, Vince is my guy.
Vince is a good guy.
He's the fucking man.
He's the man.
Let's go. Had a great steak. Delicious. The apps were incredible. That was when I was like, that was the third in a row one of those shits that I took.
Yeah.
The 3 a.m. overheated, like,
yeah.
but, you know, like begging God for forgiveness while I'm shitting. All my clothes are off. I have to lay my fat stomach on the cold tub to just chill out for a second. And then I was like, Vince wouldn't do this to me. This is a me problem.
This is not on the fucking Vince. Yeah.
A Heisman winner would never treat me like this.
Never treat you like that. No. Well, I'll make you a list of places to try here.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did Reggie Bush win that year? I don't remember. Was that the same year?
Same year? Because
that was a great year of college football, but I think
because Reggie obviously won one, and then they took. But
let's do some fucking producing in here, you motherfuckers.
05.
Yeah, he did. Sorry, sorry. That's I'm used to yelling at my Albanian eldest.
Wow. And so he was the runner-up the year that Reggie won.
I think so.
Yeah.
That was a fucking great year of college football, man.
Oh my God.
That was fucking incredible.
I think people, right, even now sometimes kind of overlook how fucking crazy Reggie Bush was.
Insane. And fucked Kim Kardashian when that was still new and cool to do. One of the fresh ones in there. And it was like, whoa, he's
a first rounder multiple times.
Yeah. I think that was right after Ray J.
Yeah.
Which barely counts.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think Reggie was her first foray into like celebrity black dick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then it was only upwards and onwards from there.
Oh yeah.
She was a rocket ship.
Big time blacks after that.
She was climbing the giant the totem pole.
Yeah.
And got to Kanye and then, you know, turned his brain to mush, unfortunately.
That pussy must be crazy.
Oh my God. I wonder about that.
Yeah?
I wonder if it's like pussy plus psychological torture. Because they're geniuses, but they're evil, the Kardashians. There's no way around it. I mean, you know, I don't know what happened. I mean, Kanye was already an unstable person, obviously. Like he's like, and sometimes I do feel like that level of talent has to come with an off brain. Like a brain
definitely
shouldn't be that good at music,
right?
And so something,
because like his production is
it's insane.
It's wacky. Like wacky in that like you're not supposed to. Your brain's not supposed to be able to cook all that up. It's insane, and that has to come at a price. That you're hearing those sounds in your head. Yeah, you're hearing other shit in your head too, man.
And have you heard him describe how he views music, or how he listens to music? It's like he sees it. He sees songs. He's talked about it where it's like different things are like it's a visual representation in his head, and it's like fascinating. But I'm like, yeah, dude, you're up against some you know, weaponized Armenian pussy.
Yeah,
that brain has no chance. That brain has no chance. Like the Kardashians really are like that's an American success story, much like the original Segura.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? It's like
those Kardashians have smashed some dudes' brains in with those pussies. Like the guys have just melted down.
Yeah. It must be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you think of like she was, because like that the whole Chris Humphries where she just kind of like married a guy because
it was like a TV special,
and she I remember because I'm a huge hoops guy, and there was like a list of guys she was considering, like it was like, you know, filling the Daily Show or whatever, where she was like had to play in a major market, preferably New York, and it was like they literally tried to go after Danilo Gallinari, and he was just like, wait, what the fuck is this? You're trying to like marry me?
Really?
Yeah. That's, you know, that's something I read on the internet 7 years ago. But
I don't know if this is true or not, but I remember them like, you know, he wasn't obviously like a superstar.
No, he was not. He was just like a journeyman.
Yeah, but like I remember him like he bought her a ring. That they were like, this is like a substantial sum of money for this guy who's like, yeah, but I'm doing this. Yeah, and then she's like, I don't want to be married to you.
Yeah, I think she was just like, we need. I think it was literally like a production meeting for that season of the Kardashians. It's like Kim's story is kind of light.
Yeah,
can we get a marriage in here?
Marry like
athlete marriage,
NBA player or something like that. Some guy 6'10".
Yeah. Just tall guy. But shout out to Chris Humphries.
Yeah,
he had no business in there.
No,
you know what I mean. It was just
he got in there.
He got in there.
Yeah, good.
Salute to him.
Good for you, man.
Good for you, brother. And he played in the league after that. You know, good guy.
It's a good story.
Good story. That's a fun little story to bring out for the rest of your life.
Because there's a lot of people who, let's be fair,
or
meet that guy.
Marriages.
But I'm saying that meet that guy and they're like, I don't know who this is.
Of course.
You know, like
totally.
They don't recognize him.
Totally.
Some of them, like, you know, if you're deep Hooper, you go like, oh, but like everyone outside of that
Yeah.
is going to be like, you're tall. What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they'll ask him because he's tall. Did you play He'll get that, and he's like, "Not only did I play basketball,
You want to hear some wild shit?
but because I was signed to the Brooklyn Nets when Kim Kardashian was looking for some 6'8" and over cock, I was married to her for however long it was.
12 days. Yeah. And yeah, I smashed. It was pretty great.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice little benefit.
That is a cool story for that guy.
I'd love to be in a sham Hollywood marriage. You know, those
Dude,
seem
let's set
fun.
you up. Who should we get you?
I'm open, dude.
Yeah.
Who would pair nice with a big fat party animal?
Yeah.
Or so, you know who I'd be great for is like somebody who's like doing like a wellness thing, and she turns my life around.
Oh.
You know, turns me from Chris Pratt, like makes me Christian.
That can happen,
turns
bro.
Yeah.
That top
puts
shelf
me in some
stuff
kind
can-
of cult,
yeah.
and I'm like, it's incredible. I can't believe how I was living before.
You get that out of this world puss.
Yeah.
You'll start changing your life.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like not Scientology, that's a little passe at this point.
Yeah.
Scientology adjacent. Or
Sure.
like, it seems like a cool Christian, like Justin Bieber's like pastor.
Yeah.
So like a cool Christian
Like cool
type of guy.
spiritual. It's not too.
But ultimately,
Christian.
when you do the math,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Christian.
Right,
Although,
right.
you know what'd be fun?
They dress it up. Yeah.
Islam. Let's get in there. No one's really done it. No one's really done it.
Now you're talking.
Now we're talking, bro.
Now we got a pitch.
Who do we got? The Hadid, the Bella and Gigi Hadid, but I feel like, yeah, they're the only ones I can think
Are they
of.
Muslim?
Yeah, Palestinian.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So yeah, just some like look. We don't have to do it now. We don't have to solve it now.
Right.
But I also like.
What is, by the way, what's the top shelf Muslim puss out right now? Who's
Google that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mia Khalifa.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Who's
not.
this?
I mean, I've never heard of Sophia.
Sophia Boutella. Yeah, but she's.
These look like.
Oof.
Are these pornography?
That's definitely.
Anissa Kate.
That's porn.
Algeria. That's cool.
There's Gigi, like you said.
Yep.
Golshifet.
Golshifete Farahani. Isabella Johnny. I don't know.
Leila Bekhiti.
This is awesome podcasting because I was just looking at girls
Yeah.
I might want to fuck.
Yeah.
Let's get my agent on the phone, on the horn.
Well, look, man.
Goals.
here's
I
the
mean, I
thing.
can do this for a while.
I mean,
just
here's the
looking at
thing.
chicks I'd like to fuck potentially.
There's a lot of beautiful women on this list.
There's a lot.
I don't know hardly any of them though.
Right.
And that's what the real work is on this pitch.
Right.
Is that it can't just be a beautiful Muslim woman.
Right.
She's got to be known.
Well, it could be kind of like a let's buy low on both of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
so, and let's kind of get some, and then maybe like I cheat with somebody famous, and it kind of brings up both our Q ratings.
There you go.
You know, it's like, oh, she had him. You know, I'd have to lose a bunch of weight, and I have to gain it all back and have a relapse and fuck like, you know, Doja Cat or something. You know what I mean? And it would have to, and then she would be like, I can't believe he betrayed me. And she would get like the big, you know, the Jennifer Aniston bump after
Yeah.
Angelina and Brad Pitt happened, where she
Yeah.
was like, you know, and then I would be such a piece of shit. But then that would be good for my stand up because now everybody's waiting for
Your story.
after he fucked
Yeah.
up. He's a fat again.
Yeah.
I mean, this is perfect.
Dude, you just laid it out.
Let's get the Illuminati. If you're listening, I've been trying.
Here's
I've been
all-
trying to get in.
The plan is in place. We just need help executing.
We just, I laid it all out.
Yeah. Somebody reach out to a
I
fucking...
love to
Muslim
suck on
woman.
a nice tan nipple.
Oh, yeah.
know
Have
what I
you hooked up
mean?
with Greek girls?
Not really only one, actually, weirdly.
Was it in Greece or here?
Here. Yeah. But I mean, the older I get, the more I'm like, damn, it matters. I kind of want, because it's like, you know, I'm 34 and my whole life has just been trying to get successful in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, I've done it. If I don't get any more successful than this, I'm happy, bro. This
You
was
have a
fucking
great life.
sick. Like,
Yeah.
this life rules. I'm solid. I don't want to like, so now I'm like, well, then maybe I should like be a human being instead of, because you see people that just like really want to
Just chase the thing.
and that's crazy. Like I don't want to do. I want a
you have
soul,
a
right?
good
Like,
instinct, yeah.
I feel like it's drained a lot out of me. Like, you know, just the last couple of years have been awesome. I've done a lot of cool shit, but I'm like, let me just be a human being. And now that I'm like, I think I should try being in a serious relationship, whatever. Part of me is like, I guess. And I have friends I'm at the age where friends are having kids and getting married finally.
Yeah, this
And
is the age, yeah.
And so I'm like, damn, I think it would be cool if we shared some cult. Like I kind of would like it to
Culture, yeah.
some cultural overlap. The dream would be like, maybe half Greek, maybe, or even cooler would be like like immigrants to Greece.
Yeah.
So somebody who's like Asian or African that speaks fluent Greek.
Oh yeah.
But then so we share. There's just enough overlap, but I don't want to bring another white person into this world.
I think you're
you
great.
know what I mean?
think that's
let's get it. That's enough of us already.
such a good instinct.
You know,
I think the plan should be we hook up with this Muslim chick.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
And then you go, I'm going to visit family. You go back to Greece.
Now we're talking.
You hook up.
A village
and
bitch.
she's like, she gets mad at you. And then you are like, this is who I'm meant to be.
I'm sorry.
So the love of your life really is the Greek girl.
It is a little like kind of stick with your own. You know what I mean? The that's my one issue. So if she could be a foreign Greek,
Okay.
it would soften it. Because it feels a little like the message to take away is, look, they're going to try and...
You've seen how prisons operate, right?
Yeah.
You eat with your own kind. That's how you survive. Let's just say it's fair, okay?
Yeah.
Not a lot of mixing it up on the inside.
No, there isn't. You're right. But I would, we're on the outside, so I think
Yeah.
I would like to be a little more sexually progressive. But look, all of this is up for debate. Contact me and Tom. We'll get this figured out.
Feel free to reach out to me. I will vet your pussies.
You get 10% of the pussy.
Yeah.
You're my
And
pussy manager.
I'll let them know who's worth reaching out to. Okay. Don't forget to watch Fat Rascal.
Fat
It's
Rascal.
out now on Netflix.
yeah.
Congratulations, bro. I'm very happy
Thank
for you. Very
I
happy
really
for all your
appreciate it.
success.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you again for doing the bit for us. 69
It's so
minutes.
funny. Go watch that, guys. It's gonna
Go
be
check
awesome.
it out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.